Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463.
The Sphere Network. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today at advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Baptiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to Technocrats, where we talk about the ins and outs of technology to empower the digital you. I'm your host, Gary Lee, also known as G Hawkins. Of course, like I always tell you all, you can find me anywhere online: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with the Z. And I am digitally connected with the lovely, the cunning, the electrifying Ari McKinney. Ari, what's up, love? How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good deal. I've had better days, but I won't complain. I'm just working through it. The weather, I've realized, yeah, my days sometimes get tied to the weather. So if the weather's kind of ucky, like I'm not in my best spirits, like I'm pushing through, it's more of a mud for me to walk through than when the day is gorgeous and, you know, it feels like a snowboard day or a snorkeling day or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't know. I tend to get more create. These are days when it's easy for me to sit and kind of create. Like, these are good content curation days for me because I just kind of want to like hole up inside, read.
I feel that. Looks like a little curation on your head there. Is that Game of Thrones? Is that a dragon? Is that the mother of dragons? What's that?
It's Espelon. It's one of the events that I'm doing. They're sponsoring one of the events.
Oh, so sweet. Love.
I'm stuck here working, so.
That's all good. That's a nice Scully. But
thank you.
For everybody else who's tuned in with us, Monique, we see you with the glasses on. Appreciate your love. Everybody else who's tuned in, hey, remember we're Facebook Live for the first 15 minutes or so, and we're talking technology. We're giving you these ins and outs today. And we're going to start with something that's for the mothers. We're going to do something for the ladies, the mothers out there. Now, Mother's Day is around the corner, like 6 months around the corner, 7 months, but it's around the corner. But it looks like there's something cool that popped into the news. This particular article comes from the Washington Post, and it says, "Wanted, the perfect babysitter. However, here's the clause. Must pass AI scan for respect and attitude." Ari, what's going on with this article right here?
Yeah, so this is interesting. So it's got implications bigger than just for moms. It kind of it's you'll see. But it's interesting. It's a software called Predictim, and this is an online system that uses AI to assess a babysitter's personality by scanning their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram posts, and then offering a risk rating on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being the least risk, 5 being the most risky. It's very interesting because essentially what it does is it analyzes tone, word choice, and if you're in videos, facial movements to predict your skills and demeanor. It scans the social media posts for, quote, toxic behavior. So essentially, you are kind of at the mercy of everything you've ever posted.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, which is very interesting because it's got, implications for how companies are starting to approach recruiting and hiring and interviewing their employees, because now, they're starting to move toward video interviews, which again will allow this software to analyze their facial movements, their tone, and their word choice during said interview in order to predict their skills and their demeanor on the job. But there's a lot of things that a system like that doesn't take into play.
Yeah, and I could see how this could, I guess, give some false positives for some people, right? And you accidentally make the wrong gesture on face, or you say the wrong thing that you have to come back and backtrack. But artificial intelligence has picked it up, right? It has picked up what you put out there. It picked up what you're putting down, and now you're being judged based on that immediately. Whereas a normal human that may have foregoed that, and that human touch, that human forgiveness is to some degree out of there. Going back to this particular article and being a mother yourself, how would you feel if you did need a babysitter? Do you think something like this would be something you'd utilize, or what? Ooh.
I don't know. I don't think it takes the place of a good old-fashioned face-to-face meeting. Like, I just, think there's a lot to be said for sitting down with someone and assessing their vibe and their energy, and just kind of, what you're getting from them in terms of that. Compatibility is also a huge issue as well when you're talking to someone that, is going to be working in your household. So I think, this software doesn't take that kind of thing into play. It's not really assessing, their personality traits versus how, they'll fit kind of into the fabric of your house,
sure,
your household. So, it's kind of, what if somebody, found out that they lost someone close to them, or found out some bad news right before they go into this interview, you know what I mean? And then they're just kind of having an off day, but, emotionally, but otherwise, nail the interview. Is it going to score them badly because they didn't smile enough? Like it specifically says in the article that, subjects who smiled more during these video interviews got consistently higher scores than those who didn't smile as much.
Yeah. So you're already gaming the system, basically.
Right. So, it's already finding loopholes and little issues. And I just think some things can't be automated.
I feel that.
Or shouldn't be.
Yeah. Now Monique says that she would be all in to use this. She's here for it, but it wouldn't be her only source. And I think that makes sense. Like, we get presented these tools, and I think sometimes people from the technological perspective feel like it's all or nothing, or they feel like this is the new normal and I can't utilize the other thing. So I think that, perhaps doing 2 interviews and using this tool as one, just to get some additional insight or data so you can make a better choice.
I put it right up there with background checks and anything else. I think, I would definitely, having interviewed, like I go to potential sitters or nannies, Facebook, and kind of see, what you can gauge from that. I think it's a good supplemental tool, but I think we're far from being able to use it to solely, make our decisions. I'm laughing at Monique's comment about how some old school grandmothers wouldn't pass.
Yeah, they wouldn't at all.
Not at all.
They'd be out of there. Because they tearing them kids up. This is what it is.
Automatic fives.
Catching L's left and right. But, of course, for those that are tuned in, we want to know how you feel. Would you utilize this AI not just to check out the latest Babysitter, but perhaps moving forward, check out a potential employee, right? Maybe even turn the interview back on to the interviewer to check them out, to make sure that this manager that you're talking to is making sense and they're really legitimate and being ethical. So you got some options for this software. We want to know. Hit us up, Technocrats at thesphere.tv. And something I meant to mention earlier, that was our digital trends, where we talk about the latest and greatest things that are coming down the pipe. But now let's transition over to our tech news. So when we're talking about the tech news, baby, this is everything surrounding technology. We are your digital source when it comes to tech. And there's something that caught my eye because I am a gamer, right? I will be honest. There are times where I'll come home after, being up here at the studio, at the Sphere, and I'll crank up some Call of Duty. I'll crank up some Fortnite. And speaking of Fortnite, one of the biggest things that caught my eye when I first started playing, and your son may be able to attest to this, right, is the fact that all the characters, the avatars, all of them have some little crazy dances that they do, right? Yeah. And I've always wondered, or, I always want to scratch my head, like, I've seen these dances before in real life. Did somebody get paid for this? So what hits us today in the news is, or came in the news this week, is rapper 2 Milli has decided to bring a lawsuit up against Epic for basically stealing his dance moves and placing them into Fortnite without his permission. So back in 2014, there was a song that 2 Milli had, and it was a dance that came out of this song that surprisingly ended up as what's called Swipe It, which is a choice of one of the avatar's dance moves that you can get inside of this particular game, Fortnite. But guess what, folks? It's not a free free item that you can do. This is a $10 Battlefield Pass purchased item, right? So, and it's a tier reward associated to it. So, not just did you take someone's creation, let's just call it IP, intellectual property, but you insert it in a game where you're making money and revenue daily, if not by hourly, if not by the minute, if not by the second. You're making financial compensation off of this person's dance moves that you digitized and put into this game. So as of right now, we're not sure where the lawsuit's going to go. But Ari, tell me if I'm wrong from a technological perspective and what we know surrounding intellectual property. Does this not sound like someone has some type of potential lawsuit capabilities here?
Sounds like a case to me. This actually came to my attention via a documentary I was watching. I believe it was Shut Up and Dribble.
Yeah.
Showtime. And I believe they mentioned this in one of the episodes, that a lot of people had started coming to him saying, when Fortnite, blew up, saying, they owe you money for this, and I would tend to agree. I mean, it's very blatantly the same dance.
Yeah.
I think, anyone else, any other corporation or anything else would have probably done this already.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, right? We're talking from a financial perspective. It makes you wonder, when you do create something as simple as a dance, should you now go out and get some type of patent or trademark or something that's federally official surrounding this move? Because this is not the first time, and they've done it more. One of the big things about this in particular is that 2 Milli's law team is looking at this from a racial perspective. But hold that note. Before we get into it from the racial perspective, this particular portion of the show is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. So, did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 million of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month. And 39% of adults say they don't have enough in savings. Don't become one of these statistics, folks. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or shoot them an email over to info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask them how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finances are the new faces of the new age of financial services. And I want to make, cha-ching, baby. And I want to make sure I got that part. I want to get that advertising in Because as we transition away from the money and we talk about something that's more social, we've often heard the term cultural appropriation, right? Where things that are birthed in one culture end up in another culture, and then that sometimes gets monetized or overly publicized, and revenue that should have went to the originators never makes it there. Here we are from a technological perspective on arguably the biggest game in the world right now, Fortnite. I mean, where do you stand with this from a cultural appropriation perspective?
I think, again, like I said a few minutes ago, if this had been any other corporation, I think they would have sued by now. I think a lot of the dances, the moves that are on the game were created by people of color, and I think had it not been that way, that they would have already been offered compensation instead of waiting for a lawsuit to fall.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And for those that are watching this online right now, you get an opportunity to see some of the dance moves that these gentlemen created that has obviously ended up in this game that is circulating all around the world, and they've not received a dime of revenue for it. And it's so interesting how time and time again we see these opportunities that are kind of taken away, and the people who did do the creation, right? The people who trialed and tribulated to get something out there. Right. A small part of it now gets expanded by another corporation, and all this revenue goes one way and of course not the other. So interesting. We're going to keep you all abreast to this as we stay on this, but hopefully 2 Millie will get some dollars for that Millie Rock on any block, okay? Including the digital block. Now, Facebook Livers, hey, we love y'all. We support y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We really, really appreciate y'all. We see some other people just hopped in as well. But, hey, we only shoot live for the first 15 minutes or so. You've got to go subscribe to get the rest of this show. So head over to sphere.tv/Technocrats, and we got a few options for you. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube. We're on Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeart. We're on Spotify. We're even on your Amazon Alexa. Just install the Spreaker skill, and you've got us right there in your kitchen. And while you're there, share this out. Share with your family, your friends, your colleagues. Share with your loved ones. Share with your haters. Share with anyone you know that wants to get more insight when it comes to technology from people who can keep the terms at the layman's level. And at the same time, review us. Let us know how we're doing. We want to build better shows. So if you're in Facebook Live right now before we end, let us know how y'all like the show. Hit us with some comments or some feedback so we can continue to make better content that sows back into you when it comes to technology here on Technocrats. And give us those stars, those likes, those dislikes, whatever. We'll take it all because that's going to help us grow. Iron sharpens iron. And last but not least, we're doing something special for the month of December. So we are going to support Hungertherm, which is a mission to rid the world of hunger, as well as obviously here in America. So you can donate right on our website. If you head over to sphere.tv/Hungerthon, there's a donate button there that you can click on, and we're going to all 100% of proceeds for the month of December that come in through our Hungerthon donation will go directly to the whyhunger.org campaign. So once again, please sow into us. Hungerthon 2018, we're on a mission to help rid this world of hunger. So we want to do something special for the holidays. Keep it tuned in, folks. We're kicking back. We got a couple of more articles to talk about. We got some hot stuff, including some Wreck-It Ralph and some other stuff, some Tumblr with their adult band. It's about to get popping. Stay tuned right here at The Sphere. So let's keep this popping. Speaking of adult bands, and Ari, I know you heard about this. I know you heard about this. So for somebody who may have not heard about this, this week Tumblr's like, you know what? We are cutting the cord on allowing adult content that comes across our blog. So let's take a look at this article here from Verge. Tumblr said that they would ban all adult content from its platform, and now this is the bold part. They said that any user that's hurt by this decision, if you in your feelings, if you feel some type of way, you can simply migrate to another site, big boy. You ain't gotta stay here with your oodles and noodles and your whatever's tickling your fancy with the adult content. Head somewhere else. Now, Ari, tell the truth. Keep it 100. You got a Tumblr out there or what? What you got?
I don't.
No Tumblr.
I don't, but I'm a Tumblr lurker for sure.
Oh, really? See, yeah. I hadn't played on Tumblr. I've been on a few, but I've never been really a big fan of Tumblr.
Yeah, like I'm not enough to get on it, but there's some good content out there.
Now, when you say good content, we talking good adult content? I mean, what are we talking?
Listen, I'm not particularly talking about this specifically. There's a lot of artistic endeavors out there on Tumblr, shall we say?
I hear you.
No, it's there's some good art out there.
Yeah, and I think that. So here's the thing, and I think when it comes back to reputation, right? If sex isn't really the situation here, or if the CEO, which is Jeff D'Onofrio, if he doesn't understand that this is the platform that he's built and this is how people are utilizing it, do you galvanize a heavy part of your base because ethically you don't feel like this is where you want your platform to be, or do you allow it to continue to do what it do? You pivot and perhaps build a new platform that caters to a different demographic. That's how I would sit on this, because why shoot yourself in the foot if you're Tumblr when you can easily build a different version of Tumblr with very similar feature sets and offer it as an alternative that has a better appeal for someone else?
I agree. I think from a business standpoint, to just alienate a giant base, some could argue the largest base nowadays on member base, or I should say user base, on his site, on his platform, seems to me to be silly.
Yeah.
I mean, just for lack of a better word, just silly. I'm with you, really. I think you said it. Why not? I guess from a leader, from a business leader standpoint, it's a question that we face, business owners face every day, kind of the capitalism versus the ethics of certain decisions. But it's been doing what it's been doing for this long. I don't see why. I feel like it's become a platform for this kind of content for so long that it just seems strange to me that now all of a sudden he's like, oh no, we're not going to do that anymore. So I'm with you. I would just leave Tumblr to do what it's been doing and doing very well, and create a Tumblr that's perhaps more family friendly, shall we say.
Yeah. Now, Tumblr's been around since 2013, and you've got a lot of blogs a lot of people that have these blogs that are saying, you know what, I don't understand this shift, because this can be a positive thing, right? You've got a unique blogging experience people are able to be as honest and blunt and explicit as they want to be, outside of having to go to a YouPorn, a Pornhub, or something like that. So you have a niche, basically. So from a business perspective, I'm not feeling this at all, but I guess we shall see.
Yeah, and lastly, what's really weird about it is, it isn't at all like kind of a Pornhub or YouPorn experience. It's very like a lot of the blogs it's just simply that it's content that you can't post on other platforms, but a lot of it's really kind of sex positive and body positive blogs.
Yeah.
That you just simply can't do it anywhere else. It's not so much porn in the way a lot of people would think. So yeah, it just seems silly to me. I think bad move on his part.
Yeah, bad move indeed. Bad move indeed. But, hey, everybody doesn't do marketing right. Exactly. People don't always, they don't know how to market their own products. But guess what? Yep. We know how to market, and we can do that right here at the Sphere. So, are you starting your business or looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at the Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. So, call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or shoot us a good old email to advertise@thesphere.tv. Yes, indeed. So, last but not least, still living in the news, because there's a lot of good things that have come from the news over the last several days this week. One thing that I want to and this is a little different than what I would normally put on the Run of Show, but it just really sat in my spirit so nicely. So, Ari, has your son seen the original Wreck-It Ralph?
He has, although it came out before he was born. A year before he was born, but he has seen it, so he's very excited about Ralph Breaks the Internet.
And has he seen? He hadn't seen Ralph Breaks the Internet yet.
Not yet.
Okay, so
Maybe this weekend.
good stuff. Well, we'll make you some. We'll try not to give any spoilers in here, but technology has finally caught up to Ralph and him breaking the internet, and we just want to kind of go over a little bit of what this show actually did and how this really played out. So, looking over at a TMP article today, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the idealisms here for Ralph Breaks the Internet. First and foremost, from a technological perspective, I've read a couple of different articles, and they all pivot back to the same thing. They could not have done this movie several years ago. The software didn't exist for them to be able to have all of the digital imagery that was involved in some of the shots, where they've got over 1 million different animations happening on one screen at one time, let alone having the highest number of characters in any Disney animated film. So this movie was already breaking records just on the technological back end, talking about Ralph Breaks the Internet. But what really stood out for me, and yes, full disclaimer, or full disclosure, I watched it. I went to like a 10:30 show, and I was sleepy by 12:30 because it was pretty long. But you know, all these cartoons, they tend to have a angle for adults, right? You're going for the kids. The kids are there. They're excited because they're visually stimulated. But the adults, we get the humor that's baked into it that only adults would get, right? We get some of the consequences and the emotional challenges that some of these characters are going through during this animated series or animated movie. But something that spoke to me in my spirit technologically here is that they literally and figuratively create the internet and show you this world, and it feels like this huge city where the internet is. So, right, so they brought this to life. And like I said, I'm trying not to give any spoilers because you hadn't seen it yet. But they start off, when they actually get to this portion of it, Ralph and Penelope, I think that's her name. It's Ralph. Ralph obviously is Wreck-It Ralph, and his cohort is Vanellope. Excuse me. Yeah. And she's from Candy Crush. He's from Wreck-It Ralph. What'd you say?
Sarah Silverman.
Yes, Sarah Silverman. She does a great job. And John C. Reilly. So, and she's from Sugar Rush. I think I said Candy Rush. She's from Sugar Rush. So I won't give the plot or anything like that. But when they finally go to the internet, they go in these little encapsulated things. And what they're portraying, what some people may not know, is they're portraying what's called packets. And packets are a real thing. That's the encapsulation of data, and it's called packets, and packets are in specific sizes that shoot back and forth, that have the ones and zeros, the data that traverses the cabling. So you see them do this, and they're in these small little packets, and they're shooting off. Whereas the kids are probably just thinking, oh, these are whatever. But if you know technology, like, it's really packets, right, that they're doing. And then when they land in this city, you see people queued up. So you think about QoS. So for anybody who knows technology, who knows priority, you understand how QoS works in networking and switchings and routing. So you see this occur, and then you see them, you know, first in, first out. So you see all these things, principles of how technology works that's physically displayed. One of the cute things that you see is obviously all these buildings everywhere, right? And these buildings, there's Google, which is this huge behemoth of a tower, because for us, Google is the behemoth when it comes to internet. Amazon is this big shopping mall, and so is eBay, with all these people coming in and out. And then you see Twitter over in the corner, and it's this huge tree with all these blue birds on it, and they're tweeting, right? And you'll see one tweet something, and then you'll see the other ones tweet the same thing. Why? Because they're retweeting, right? So you're seeing, you're getting a visual experience for things that we do on the internet. And one of the things in particular that really caught my eye was when Ralph is going into eBay. You see these people just appear out of nowhere with these signs that like, play video games and win a lot of money. And somebody else will pop up and say, this is the best shoes that you can ever buy. And what are they? They're pop-ups, right? So you see these pop-ups that are just popping up, and you see them kind of like blocking the pop-ups. And it's so funny, because while they're doing this in this digital scape, at the same time, in real life, you see them like they're pan back to somebody who's on a laptop, as if they're, you know, just in real life, and because you're still inside the animation, but they're on a laptop, and they're like, why am I getting this pop-up? Like, or Ralph will do something and it'll affect somebody's laptop or something. So it's really cool. And even down to making purchases, when Ralph is bidding on something on inside eBay, and he's handed the certificate because he's won it. Then he goes and he's like, I don't have a credit card number, and he can't buy it, you know? So it's like the rules still apply. And they even transition down to the dark web, where you see them they click on a pop-up, and they hop in this pop-up's car, which is all raggedy and whatnot. And you see him kind of dove down deep, and he's down in this dirty, dark area, and it's the dark web. All the avatars are walking around with black glasses on, so you don't. So it's like how people do on the dark web, like they're all anonymous, and they're looking for something specific. So won't give it away, but I thought it was very intuitive how they built this experience around the internet for kids, but it was so true to life. So, Ari, I think you'll really, really enjoy this. I think your son's really going to enjoy this. Yeah, and I think it's going to be mad funny. You know, very, very mad funny. It's going to definitely keep a smile on your face like you're doing right now. Speaking of smiles, this particular portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. So at Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and a friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel like they're part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. However, Dr. Bertice and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Chandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness by calling 713-789-8680. Yes, indeed. Ari.
Yes.
That's all of our articles for today, my dear.
That's it.
That's it. What do you got? What do you have on your technological list as we close out for 2018? Anything you're trying to pick up in a techno sphere?
I'm gonna get my son a new tablet.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think about getting him?
You know, I'm not sure. He hadn't, because he's had an iPad mini, and it's now to like where you can't even, doesn't even support Netflix and stuff. So
oh, okay.
we've moved beyond that now.
Yeah.
He's had that for a couple years. So I don't know if I'm gonna go with the iPad or if we're gonna do maybe a Fire tablet.
Oh, really? You're considering Fire?
Yeah, just because I mean he doesn't really have an Apple. You know, he doesn't really care. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's got. I ordered him an Echo Dot Kids for his room. So, you know, I think his room's kind of got all the Amazon stuff, the Fire Stick and all that stuff. So I think we'll just kind of trick him out with all the Amazon stuff.
Yeah, stay in that ecosystem.
Yeah. As for me, I don't know. I tend to like trips or experiences, going to see shows or something like that more than I do gifts. I don't know that I really need anything technologically. I'd like a new MacBook, but who wouldn't?
Yeah, me too. I feel you.
What about you?
I'm actually looking at, I just started scuba diving, so I just got certified to do that. So now I'm actually looking at getting a dive computer so that you wear on your wrist so you can, know your where you're at for any of your nitrogen that needs to leave your body and things like that. So you don't have to worry about knowing your dive tables. You'll have your information with you and decompression stops and stuff like that. So I'm excited to get into the computing and technological side of diving. So I'm looking at a dive computer.
Cool.
And I need a travel consumption and creation device. And I feel like my MacBook's too old. I feel like my iPad's too old. I'd take that with me now. And I don't want to carry my Surface Pro, my Surface Pro, because I use it for work. So if something happened to it, that would be a problem. And I don't want to take my Asus laptop that I use over at the Sphere that I'm using right now because I use it for work. So I can't take that. So it's like I need to find a device that I could take with me. So I'm on the fence right now trying to figure out if I want to look at the Pixel Slate, which I think is a little too expensive at $1,000, but it's it has it's i5 processor, 8 gigs, like it's as powerful as my Surface Pro. Or do I dumb it down and just get a new iPad, which I originally said I was gonna do. So I'm on the fence. I don't know. I really don't know. Well, we'll find out though.
We'll find out though.
I'll do an unboxing. I'll do it. We'll do it on Patreon, whatever I get.
Yes.
So, well, my dear, thank you again. Another great episode. Let the good people know where they can reach you at.
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at DishWithAri. So follow, holler, #Technocrats.
There it is. And of course, you can find me anywhere online, folks. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Maybe at your local Quidditch match at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. If you got any questions about what we do here at the show, shoot us an email, Technocrats at thesphere.tv, or at the Sphere TV on social media. Use our hashtag Technocrats. That way we can get right back with you. This has been another digitally exciting episode. We'll see y'all next time, folks. Peace.